Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Quantum Leap Morning Leap and Trade Plan Setup. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder and head moderator of Quantum Leap Trading. Quantum Leap Trading has been around now coming up on 6 years this September. And we've been in various different forms. Right now we are a subscription mode, and each morning we come together to take a look at the structure of the market, the macro to the micro, drill down to our trading levels and our targets and our hypotheses for the day. If you're interested in finding out more or joining us, please send an email to quantumleaptrading@gmail.com or contact me, Doug McKay, at 647-545-8065. Before I get going, I do have to do the disclaimer. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand the knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own plan and your own risk metrics. All right. So let's start with the news. We had existing home sales. Let me just bring this up to date. We have existing home sales. Well, first of all, we have HPI coming out in about 13 minutes from now. Expected 0.5. We've got existing home sales at 10, expected 5.4, and then we've got crude at 10:30, and that's about it. News has been light so far. We do have the Greek government debt crisis vote later on, but we don't know exactly when that will be. So we do have some headline risk involved today. So I don't need that, so I can get rid of that. Let's take a look at our plan. Yesterday we were talking about that pullback to the 21.1450 area, and possibly coming down and testing the 12.25. And I said if we broke the 12.25, we'd likely go down and test the lower side of that balance at that lower CLVN at 21.0875. And then we had a key line in the sand down at 21.0675, the microcomposite value area high from February that we broke out of, and we're currently below that and testing that next target below, which was at 21.0375. But we'll talk about all these levels. So our trade plan actually played out very well. I only took 3 trades yesterday. I was a little bit preoccupied. I did take the shorts, and made 10.5 points for the room, and that puts our room for the month up to 87.25 points so far. So what I like to do is I always like to start with the macro to micro, take a look at where we are within the trends and the different time frames. And the way I do that is simply use a candlestick chart with a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. And you can see we've got great slope, great separation. We are losing a little bit of slope, but not that much. And this pullback is more than normal, so I wouldn't get freaked out about it. I can see us coming back all the way to 2069. 89 is the next big number of support below us. The big target below us right now is 2093 if we get below the 2100. We'll take a look at that when we get into the composite and our trade chart. Going down to the weekly, you see that we have a potential head and shoulders here on the weekly. If this right shoulder holds out, there's some serious measured moves to the downside on this pattern, but gotta wait till it actually happens. We have no real slope or separation. We are in consolidation mode up here. We're coming back to test the 9 EMA. which will bring us into that 96. The 93 will bring us down. The 20 SMA will bring us down into that 93.75 target, the microcomposite VPOC from February 5th till now. Going to the daily, you see we had created that tech gap we were talking about on the daily, and we've come back and now filled the gap. And if you remember, if you go back and read watch the video, I was saying the gap fill would be somewhere in that 2103.75 area. Well, it was just below it. It was 2103. So we're holding that right now. We do have that naked cross down here at the 2083.50. As you all know, I'm watching the 2089 below us with 93.75 just above. So we do have an upward trend right now, but it is being tested right now to the downside on the 9 EMA. Going down to the intraday to see if we have any trends coming into this RTH session, we do have a start of a downward trend. We were talking about this this 4 hour yesterday, and then when we drilled down to the lower time frames, we were seeing weakness coming in. We talked about that yesterday, that things were starting to weaken. We were going sideways, even though the trend was still intact, but we said likely on the smaller time frames, we were seeing a downward trend starting. So that's why we're looking at the downside and a pullback to that 2114 area. We have a naked cross above us at 2118.25 on the 4 hour, but we do have slope and separation to the downside coming into the RTH session on the 4 hour. Going down to the 30-minute, you can see that we've had this strong downward trend. They tried to consolidate and move back up and failed to do so, and we're getting some continuation down. Not a lot of slope and separation, but we do have some, the continuation pattern on the 30-minute. Going to the 15-minute, pretty much the same thing. Strong trend down, tried to rally, failed. Continuation of trend, and now we had consolidation, and now we're getting continuation. We're getting slope and separation on the 15-minute. And one more going down to the 5-minute. You see that this trend is accelerating. We do have a naked cross above us on the 5 at 2106, but the trend is down. We just came up and closed a technical gap here and failed to get above the 9, and we're looking at continuation. All right, so let's go to the big picture. So what we have right now, if we open up down here, okay, is we've got this island top on the RTH. It doesn't show up on the full session, but it does show up on the RTH session. RTH is regular trading hours. We do not include the Globex trading on this, but right now we're looking at a possible island top, and if we open up down here at our in around our microcomposite VPOC, where we accepted value just before we broke out. So we're below that key line in the sand, and I'm just going to bring this over so you can see it. This is what we've been looking at for quite some time, is this balance area, this value area, with the value area high at 2107 and the value area low down here at 59. And we had gapped up, accepted value just before the breakout, gapped up again, accepted value at the 14 level, and then we went up and took out the first unequalized high. We had 2124.25 or 50 and 2106.25, which was the September contract all-time highs in the RTH and in the Globex, and they were unequalized. We now have an RTH high and an all-time high in the September contract at 21, 26, 25. So that has been equalized. We still have two more that have to be equalized, one at 32 and a quarter and 34 from the June contract, and not necessarily have to be taken out anytime soon, but they will remain targets. So we're back into value on the longer time frame, and back in. We got a naked close at 2104.50. That's likely to get taken out. We're likely to come up and test this 2107. That'll take out the naked cross above us at 2106, and then possibly push up to the 2108.75. This is going to be the key line for us today, because if we can get above it again, then I'm looking for a rotation back up into that 13, 14 area. The microcomposite VPOC for the month of July is up here at 2113.50, and then we've got that prior microcomposite VPOC from this balance area at 2114 and a quarter, and then where we've been accepting value. The VPOC for the last 4 days has shifted down from that 14 and a quarter down to 1275, which is no surprise. We saw a lot of trading at 1275. But this is going to be the key. The next one for us is going to be the 2100. For all kinds of different reasons. One, it's a centennial number, it's a psychological number, but it's also a CLVN long-term price rejection. If we get below that, then I expect to be advertising price down to the 2093.75, 2093.50, and then possibly come down. Remember, I keep saying that 2089. We've got the 2089.50 lower side of that balance at 2089.75, and then targets below that 87. Then the naked cross down there at 83.75. Our 20-day ATR targets. Our overnight high is 2109. Our 20-day ATR is 2304. That means that our downside target, ATR target today, is 2086, which is going to put us right back into this 2087 area and back in this major price acceptance, long-term price acceptance centered around that 93.50. The overnight low so far is 2102.75. This is likely to change, but if it was to hold, our upside 20-day ATR target is 2125.75. So probably a retest of that all-time high in the June contract or September contract at 2126.25. So let's take a look at our overnight trading and start moving our levels over. Our overnight high is 2109. I don't think that's going to change. And our overnight low so far right now is 2102.75, but we've got a half hour, so that could get expansion. And we have a CLV or LVN here at 2104 and a quarter. I'm expecting this 2104.50 to get taken out. And then our VPOC, our Globex VPOC, is at 2106 and a quarter, which is also that naked cross above us on the 5-minute. All right, so we got all that. There's nothing really more we need to look at on this. Let's just expand this out. All right, so we're going to open up. If we open up right here, we're going to open up outside of range and outside of value. So first off, anytime we do that, we have to look for initiative buyers or sellers. We're below value and below range, so we're looking for initiative sellers today. We've been gapping up, and opening up above range and above value where we're looking for initiative buyers. This time we swap it around and we're looking for continuation and initiative sellers stepping in. And this is going to be a tough area to trade because we got a naked VPOC right there, 2103.75. This is a key, support level for us. We really don't have anything until we get down to 2100. So my first trade area is going to be 2100. Then we've got the 2107, and that's just above the overnight VPOC and just below the overnight or yesterday's RTH low. So I'm actually going to use 07 to 08. And then if we get above that level, so I don't want to get long until we're above 08 at insider range, we've got the overnight high at 2109, which is also right there at the at the value area low, which is at 2109 and a quarter. So I'm going to use that as well as another trade area, because if we rally and we get inside yesterday's range, we get outside of the value at 2107 and we get above this key CLVN at 2108.75 and inside of value at 2109 and a quarter, then I'd be looking for continuation. And my first target above is going to be this 11 and a quarter LVN. But I'll be really looking for continuation to come up and test that 12 and a quarter area again. That puts us inside of the 3-day or 4-day value area on the microcomposite and take us back up into the monthly VPOC and where we accepted value after the breakout, or where we're trying to hold value now that we're below it. We tried to hold value up here at the 2112.75, and that's right at our VPOC. So our main target above right now is going to be that 2112.75. And then once we're inside of value, then we've got the value area high and the naked close. We closed at 2114.50, and remember, 2114.50 was the microcomposite VPOC for the last 3 days before it shifted down with that move yesterday afternoon. So my next target above is actually going to be that 2104 and a quarter, 2114 and a quarter, I should say, take out of the naked close. And then just above it, we've got the 2115 area. That's the midpoint in the value area high. And then we get into this, this price rejection area. You can see that we moved through this area pretty quickly yesterday, and we're likely to move through it pretty quickly to the upside as well. So if we get above the value area high, I'm looking for a quick move up into that 2118.75. Remember, we have a naked cross on the 4-hour at 2118 and a quarter. So 2118 and a quarter is going to be my target above there. And then, if we do get above that, I'd be looking for a test of the range high at 21.75. We left the naked close just one tick above the range high yesterday, and that's going to be a target. And then, of course, we already took out the 24.50, but the market has memory, so I'd be targeting that 24.50. Come on. But of course, the real target is going to be 2126 and a quarter, and that range high, and the all-time high now in the September contract. And anything above that, I'm looking for the equalization, the second equalization of coming up and retesting and putting in a new all-time high above the 2134. The measured moves have shifted slightly. We now have a measured move to 2137.75, 2159.75, and then way up at the top, it's what it was at I wrote it down and then I lost it. I think it's 21.95 or something like that. I'm not even going to worry about it because it's too far above us right now. We'll bring it in when if and when we get above there. All right. So that's my targets to the upside. To the downside, if we take out the overnight low and we get continuation to test that 2100, this is the first area I'd be looking for responsive buyers to step in. If we break that, then my first target below is going to be this value area high at 98.75. I'm really getting sick. 98. I'm going to use 98.50 because that was a bigger number in this area for us. And then the big target below is this 93.75 with the 89 and the 87. The 87.50 is the next distribution price acceptance. And remember, we have our ATR target at 86. I'm going to front run that. And then below that, we have the 83.75 naked cross. I'm using 84.25. But you know what? I'm going to change this. I'm going to use the 83.75. And then below there is our next key line in the sand, which is this 82.75. This whole area right here is very poorly auctioned. So if we get below this 82.75 or 82.50, I'm looking for a bigger move down to test these lower levels. And the targets below are 81.25, 75.75, 71.66, with the big number coming down here at 59. And if we get below 59, we've got a nice trade into 57.50 and 50.50. And none of this is going to invalidate the longer term trend. I mean, if you look at let's go back to the big picture again. Never forget the big picture. Go back to the monthly. We don't even begin to invalidate the longer time frame trend until we get below 1980. It's still long. It's more than 100 points below us right now, and people will be crying to the high heavens. Oh, the top is in. We're going to see this big pullback. Well, no, this would be a normal pullback, and not violating the longer time frame trend. You can see, we haven't come down and tested the 9 or the 20 SMA until all the way back here in January. I'm sorry, in October of 2014. So we're getting ready for a pullback. In my mind, we've already equalized the one, set of unequalized highs. We may just leave that one, the 32.25 and 34 alone, and make a bigger pullback, and suck in the shorts, and then go back up and take out those all-time highs, which will at some point in time be taken out. Trust me, they will be taken out. Okay, so let's take a quick look at gold. Gold's still seeing some more weakness in gold. All right. So we had the big break of balance. We went down and hit our target 1128, and then we got continuation, and we went down to 1080. They rallied from there overnight, came up and tried to get back above this 1102 CLVN and the 3-day microcomposite, and fell back out, couldn't get above, and we're continuing down. Balance in this area right here is 94.60. There's really no trade to be had until we come down into this this 1074. Did I say 11? 1094.60 and 1074. This is going to be a choppy area here. If we get above 1101.80, 1180, then I'd be looking for tests of the 1107 and 1108, which was the high from yesterday, right? 1108.80, and then possibility of continuation to test the upper side of the balance at 1190, and then above there I'd be looking for a bigger move up into the 1125, 1128 area, with 1790 being your immediate target. So that's what I'm looking at in gold. Not much to trade there. I mean, gold is, we got to be very patient with gold and wait for the setups to come to us. Let's take a quick look at the Keltner, Renko with Keltner, see where we are, how that fits in our plan. 2101 is the lower Keltner channel. We do have a nice downside channel going right now. So 2101 is the test of the lower Keltner. The center line is right up at that key level, 2106.75. And then if we get above that, test of the upper Keltner takes us back up into that CLVN at 12.25 and the microcomposite VPOC at 12.75. So that fits perfectly. My main hypothesis is to look for initiative selling on the open to take out the overnight low, come down and test this 2100, and see if we find responsive buyers, at which I'd be looking for a rotation back up through to test the 2108 and possibly try to get back inside of value at the 2109. But if we break 2100, I'm looking for more continuation down towards the next big target at 93.75 and possibly 89.86 level. My secondary hypothesis is we take out the overnight low right away, find responsive buying. Responsive buying takes us up into testing the range and the value, and then we get back into value and we rally up to the 12.75, possibly 15 with 18.25, that naked cross above us on the 4-hour as a major target above. But my main hypothesis is to test this 2100 level and then see what happens from there. And I'll be looking to either get long off this level or get short. Pretty simple. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market trade plan setup. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.